Hello and welcome back to Rule the Game. In this video I'll show you how to play Shifting Seasons by Kirsten, Hiese, a game for 2 to 4 players, lasts about 45 to 60 minutes, and it's recommended starting at age 8. As usual, I'll show you game objectives first, then I'll show you how to play the game, I'll give you some hints for your first game, and then I'll show you how to set it up. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Rule the Game. I consider Shifting Seasons to be a puzzle game. At the end of the game, each player has a board here with 4 different types of tiles on them. All players play with the same scoring objectives that are shown down here, 2 of which are about a pattern and 2 of which are about color. In each color, you have 2 different kinds of tiles. Some are just a shape in the middle, and some here have quarter circles in the corners. Those are considered the precious tiles. At the end of the game, you'll take your scoring pad and you put in your names, and then we'll go through these different scoring cards one by one and give you points. We'll start here with this card number 1, where you see that your requirements to get points is to have at least 1 diagonal. If you don't have a diagonal complete in one or the other direction, you will not get any points, and that's the same with the others. If you cannot reach at least the minimum requirement, you will not get any points. Now in this case, you'll see that we have here solid lines in one diagonal and we have dashed lines in the other. That just means that you have to have at least 1 diagonal, and the other one will give you points too. Now in our case, we have both diagonals. And the way you count now is that in each diagonal you count how many tiles there are. In this case there are 6. And for each of the precious tiles, you have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. You get an extra point. So we have 6 plus 4 for the 4 precious tiles. And because we're purple, we also get an additional point for all the purple tiles in this diagonal. So here we had 6 for just the diagonal tiles, then 4 for the precious tiles, and another 3 for the purple tiles. So that's 13 points for just that diagonal here. This diagonal here is also 6 points. It only has 1 precious tile and it has 4 of the purple tiles. So it's 6 plus 1 plus 4. This is 11 points. So we have 13 plus 11 is 24. You write it down here. The card 5 here means that you have to have at least these 4 spaces here, and it doesn't matter in which direction. It could be these four that you have to have filled. And if you do so, then you get 4 points here for having these 4 tiles. Again, you get here 2 extra points for the 2 precious tiles, and you get 2 more points for having purple tiles. So just this line here gives you 8 points. And then we count this line here, but you see here there's an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark means that you can't count a tile twice. So this one won't count here for these 4 anymore. So you just get 3 more points from these 3 tiles. They're all precious though, so you get 3 extra points for all precious and 1 more for purple. Then over here again, 3 more points plus 2 of being purple. And here we have just 2 more points left. So in total we have 4, 7, 10, 12 points plus precious 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and purple 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 points goes here for this one. If you don't have one of the sides filled, let's say this tile is missing, then you just don't count this row here. You only count these 4, these 3, and these 3. So the red cards always show you some sort of geometry where you get points. The blue cards, on the other hand, they'll give you points for different colors. So here you get points for each of the red tiles that you have in the quadrant 1. Here green for quadrant 2, purple quadrant 3, and blue quadrant 4. I have here 3 of these red ones. That it gives me 3 plus 1 for a precious tile, so 4 for this quadrant. We have just 1 here for green in quadrant 2. Then down here we have 3, 6 purple, and they also have precious ones here. So you have 2 precious plus 6 of them are actually your color. So just this quadrant by itself gives you 6 points plus 2 precious is 8 plus 6 for purple is 14, just for this quadrant. And over here we have blue, which is 3 tiles plus 2 precious, so that's 5 from this quadrant. You add them all up, you write them down here. And then this card here is looking for the biggest fields of tiles of the same color that you have. They all have to be adjacent. And in our case, that's here, the purple ones. So here you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 points just for the biggest field. Then you get again for the precious ones, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 20, 21. And then you get for the purple again, 23, 25, 27, 29, 32, 34, 35 points just for the purple fields on this card. You write it down here. You sum up all of those points. Whoever has the most points wins. If there's a tie in points, whoever has the most precious tiles wins the game. Shifting Seasons is a turn-based game. On your turn, you pick up one of these tiles here, one of those 3 tiles, and you can push that tile now down one of the rows that has an arrow here. There you have 4 options, and let's say I push it down here. I now get a tile here that lands on this 2. That means this tile that I just picked up needs to go into quadrant 2. The rules are that the tile has to be in this quadrant. The tile has to be adjacent either to the number, which would mean here, or adjacent to another tile, that could be here or here. The tile cannot be adjacent to a piece that comes from another quadrant, so that wouldn't work if there's no tile here. Please also note that a diagonal option is also not possible. Of course, you always have to put the tile in an empty space, and you cannot put it on top of a number. Now, should you be able to fill up a quadrant at some point completely like this, you'll take one of these rings, you'll put it here on the number, and you get one of those bonus tokens that you can take to your board. Now, the number of bonus tokens is limited. If there's none left, you get unlucky, you can't really use them. Of course, once you fill a quadrant and there's no space left, you can now not push in a tile here in number 2 anymore because there's no place where you can place this tile here. The bonus tokens, you can use this side of the bonus token before your turn or at the end of the turn to move one of the tiles from one field to another one. Now let's say I want to move this one over here. Now in this case, no rules apply for where you place it. So even if there weren't a tile right here, you could still place this tile from over here to here. It also doesn't mean that because you've taken away that tile from here now, that you will take the ring away and you can put another tile here later to close this again. No, once you've filled that quadrant, the ring comes there once and it stays there. You can also not set up chain reactions, so by moving this tile into another quadrant that is full, let's say those 2 are also filled, you cannot pick up another bonus tile. But if you can fill up this square here, then you would also put a ring on top of this without taking the bonus token. If you've used your bonus token to do one of the bonus actions, you just put it out on a discard pile. Once you've placed your tile and you did your bonus action, you'll grab the bag and take out a new tile that you put here on this little tray. The bonus token also has a backside. On the backside, you have another option of a move that you can make. This one is during the shifting of the tiles. Let's say you take a tile, this tile here, and I want to use this bonus token. What that means is I push the tile that I picked up in, I take the tile from the back end, and I push in the same row again, and then I can use this green one, place it somewhere on the quadrant 3, like let's say here. Of course, then the bonus token also gets discarded. If you have more than one bonus token, you can use them all in one turn. The game ends when there are no tiles here on this tray anymore. At that point, every player should have 24 tiles on their board. And we go into scoring the different objectives. And here's some hints for the first game. The first thing I do is that I look at the scoring cards. And I try to find out what are the similarities. Where can I get the most points? Where can I actually score for all 3 or 4 cards by placing the tile in the right place? And if I look just at the geometries, you'll see that the corners in this one here also show up in the diagonal. So if you place a tile there, you actually help 2 scoring cards at the same time. And then if you look at this one, you're probably going to try to have these corners in the color that they show up here so that you get also points from this one. Now, these two bite each other a little bit, but as you will see during the game anyway, that you won't be able to really fulfill this so well. So you'll probably end up with one certain color in the middle that doesn't really match any of these other sides, but that's fine. That's what happens during the game. When it comes to picking up tiles from the board, you always look at which tile is closest to the number. So in this case, you would have a green one that would go in quadrant 4, but you see quadrant 4 actually needs blue ones. So I'm not that interested. Much more interesting for me is here actually the purple ones, because I'm purple. Me as a purple player, the most valuable tile that I can pick up is a precious tile in the color purple. So this one here. And even though this one here won't really fit with the color that I have here, it doesn't matter so much. If I can somehow connect this to any, or in the best case to more than one scoring cards, then I'll get always triple points for this one because it is precious, which is +1, and it is my color plus another one. So 3 points for just that one tile. Now, as you can see though, in my case, if I took any tile here and pushed the number 1 out, there's no real place anymore where I could score anything on this one because the diagonal here is already filled. There's nothing I can do here anymore because that's filled already too. So I would actually have to go here with this tile so that it's attached to all these other purple ones. So it gives me 3 points for this card here. If you can't get a precious tile of your color, then the next best thing, in my opinion, is still another tile of my color, even if it's not precious. These only give you 2 points because, again, they're your color and they might even be in the right spot. Now, we haven't really been able to find a very good hint for you to which one of these 3 tiles to pick so that you can push it in. It doesn't really seem to matter. We had some people try to go very strategically, that they said, oh, I need this purple one now in the 3 because 3 gives purple points. So I push it in here so that it goes around the corner. Never happens. It never happens. So this strategy, I don't really see it. What I rather see is that I have a bunch of rules of which tile I won't take. So for example, if let's say my tiles, I don't want to push in somewhere where I don't want them. So if it's a purple tile that I have in my hand, I would never put them on the 1 or the 2 because what am I going to do there with them? And I don't really want to put them on the 3 because then other people will take them because they can also use them in the 3. It also gives them points. So actually, I usually don't even touch my own tiles. Somebody else is going to push them in at some point. And so the same actually goes with the others. I probably would not push in the blue one in the 4 because 4, you actually need the blue ones in there. I don't really want to help anybody else. So I don't put the blue one in there. Let's say if I wanted, of course, this one here, I'll probably pick up the green one here because nobody wants the green in the quadrant 1. So it's completely useless to anybody, and it actually even hurts the person who is green most likely. So I probably push in this one and then take my own tile away and put it in here. Of course, you want to get bonus tiles because the bonus tiles will help you towards the end of the game to reset at least 2 tiles if you get lucky. You have already a bonus tile at the very beginning, but you can get a second one or a third one even by filling up squares, filling up quadrants. And the bonus tiles are very good to reshuffle some of the tiles in the end to make sure that you really fulfill 1 and 5, the red scoring cards completely, so that you get all the points there. Or maybe you have a gap in your field of purple ones, like right here, and you want to connect them. Then you could shift this one down here, for example. So this is Shifting Season, a nice puzzle game. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. And next up, how to set up the game. To set up the game, you hand every player a board. Then you'll take the main board here and put it on top of your box. You'll put this tray on the side, and you put the rings next to it and put here some bonus tokens. The number of the bonus tokens is the number of players plus 1. Every player also gets a bonus token to start with. For a 2-player game, you then take these tiles here with the symbol 2 here on the back. You put them in the bag and shuffle them. If you're 3 players, you also add these tiles. And if you're 4 players, you also add the tiles without a symbol on the back. You then shuffle your bag and you put the tiles here on the square. You add another 3 tiles here on this tray here. And then you take the bonus cards here. You can randomly pick 2 blue ones and 2 red ones. Or for the first game, it's recommended that you take the 1, the 5, the 8, and the 13. And that's it. You're ready to go.